knew exactly what to expect. But I was drawn to the word clarity because
Mm-hmm.
very unclear and very foggy and very kind of like just unbalanced. And to your point, Ed, it's like I've always known, I've always felt things, but I didn't know what it was. And so now, like when I hear people's stories or things happen, now I understand why at sometimes my stomach hurts, and sometimes it feels like period pains, and sometimes my chest hurts, and I feel just so much more aware and how to respond to that, which is bringing the clarity. Like I just got off the phone with Summer, and both of us were like, because I'm pouring into her as I'm going through this, and both of us are like, yo, I just feel like I could fly, and I want to stay right here. So for me, it was just an anticipation of getting clear, and that has definitely happened times a million, gazillion.
Amen.
Mhm.
Amen. And it's the feeling. That's the thing for me. It's like it's the feeling when you know, like, yeah, I let that shit go. I really did. Like I'm so unbothered. And
Yeah.
I'm confidently say that. And even if you have a little tinge of a moment where you think of it and it makes you a little emotional, it's just like, okay.
Real quick.
So how about you, Kat? What were some of your expectations coming into this? Or were you, I heard you agree that you resonated with the word clarity as well.
Yes. That's, I think that's what really sold me on the. I'm like, yeah, let me sign up. Let
Gosh,
me help with
what
that.
was the clarity?
So
Mhm.
just, just being more aware of who I am and why do I think the things I do and act the way I do. So definitely this week has been amazing.
Oh, I have to show you something. Yeah,
Amen.
I don't know if you can see this. This says this is a glass water bottle that
Mhm.
says intuition. I think it has the source crystal, water, bamboo crystal
Is that with
infusion.
that big crystal inside type of thing?
Yeah, and
Oh,
it's
those are so pretty.
my sister got this for me probably like a year ago, and it's just been sitting over there. I haven't like I can see it, but I'm like, oh, it's amethyst.
Mhm.
And you know how we were saying like we'll have stuff, but it's not time for it, or we'll be drawn to a book or something. And so I just happened like today. I was like I looked, and when it said intuition last night when we were done, I was like, look at that. It's time for me to use this water bottle. It wasn't time yet, and I'm super excited about this. I haven't even opened it.
That's a crown chakra stone.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna be using this water bottle too. I just thought that was so decent because that's
Yeah.
we've been talking about that, and then we've been talking about intuition. We just talked about that a lot yesterday, and then I look over, I'm like, you're so dope, universe. Like, that's so cool.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy you said that. So I was on the phone with my new coach today. So I've typically been working with like business coaches. So this is like the first one that was like a spiritual size business, and it made me step my game up of well, how much do I really think I can invest in myself? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I just had to do it. But anyway, so I'm talking to him today about just being a coach and the thing, just your coaching process and, getting clients and the sales conversation. And he goes like this. He's like, you literally are looking through goggles and there's people that want to throw your credit cards at you, but you're not making an offer. Right? Because think about how we do business sometimes. It's like we're too nice. We don't want to feel too salesy. And it's like, nah, you better post like that's like you need that like your life depends on it. You know what I'm saying? And not take it personal like I'm being spammy because obviously other companies do it. So we have to do it to our level of integrity. There's companies who email you like 5 times a day. You're like, bruh,
That's
you're
me.
wilding. You know what I'm saying? Like Old Navy. Like, why do I have an Old Navy at 6, 12, 1, 5, 7, 9, and 12 again? You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, up again. Remember that 50% off? No, that is way too much. So with integrity, but knowing like when you have a business, it's a representation of your belief in yourself. But it made me think of just relationships where I said to you both yesterday, like we are all women that anybody would be lucky to have. And this is no shade to anybody else, but there's, being just the whole combination, um, is just, there's, while you have goggles on certain things and misalignment, it's like if you only could see the amount of people that wanted to date you, because a lot of people don't say anything, you know what I'm saying? But it's like knowing that there's so much, case in point, there's so many opportunities, but because you're not in alignment, you can't see them. You couldn't see the water bottle. How you let it sit there for a whole year, sis? I didn't even feel like, yo, my sister said it to me. Let me put some water in it today. Like, oh, to you, sis. Like, but you just wasn't, it's just such a simple thing that the coincidence is that you pay attention to it when you're like activating your own self. So it's cool, but I think, like you said, staying in alignment with it, the same effort and time we stay in alignment with all the other stuff, I believe that has to be our energetic pull with this stuff, right? And you just talked about it, which is like, I feel everything now.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what the whole point of this program was about. You could never deny it again. It's kind of like when someone sees a miracle and you just see something like, nah, that was nah.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay. You have an energetic physical shift. You've been able to see the places where your mind can go. The point of the meditation isn't, oh my God, Ebony, you're such a great meditation teacher. No, because there's a ton of people that can get us there. It's really the ability to do something for you that allows you to see where your mind can go. It's like, oh wow. And then your body starts tapping in, mind, body, this is mind, body, soul connection, where you're more sensitive to it. And you're like, okay, I don't have time. Like, I'm not kidding you, and I'm not settling for anything that's going to disturb it, because I know how valuable my attention span and my focus is. And I wrote this down the other day. I wrote the other night, it might have been 2 days ago when I got off with you both. And I wrote, focus one day at a time. And that's a message I need, because I'm not really a one day at a time type of person. I'm like all the days, like goals for the next 10 years, and it's just like, but the one day at a time of just stepping back into your power and remembering that as you go, now what you've learned, you have such powerful tools to figure it out, So I'm honored. So thank you. Let's get into it. The 7th chakra. Welcome to day 7. Is our spiritual connector. The 7th chakra contains energy that generates devotion, inspirational and prophetic thoughts, transcendent ideas, and mystical connection. And it's so funny because as I'm getting ready, or like trying to show up here, y'all, I'm thinking like every single time I think we've done this, or a good number of times, I'm always like, that's my favorite chakra. But this chakra, they really are, they really all are just teaching about them, because you just see so much stuff clear, like, oh, that's why I do what I do, like Kathy said, like that's why I do that. That's interesting, and you're like, okay, I don't have to let that experience from when I was 10 rule the rest of my life as a 30-year-old. That's crazy. That's proof that time doesn't exist and you can live anywhere you want to live by choice, So, and we don't have to do that. That's queen self, that's crown self, right? Listen to the words that describe this chakra. So this contains the purest form of energy of grace. This chakra warehouses the energy generated by prayer and meditation and safeguards our capacity for symbolic sight. It is the energy center for the spiritual insight, vision, and intuition far beyond ordinary human consciousness. It is the mystical realm, a dimension of a conscious rapport with the divine. So if you have fears, or like AKA triggers, this is fears relating to spiritual issues such as the dark night of the soul, which AKA is like internal crisis, right? Midlife crisis, which I think people don't only have midlife crises, they have crises at many points of their life, from being kids to teenagers to, whatever age where it's just like the dark night of the soul to me is that disconnection of like, I don't know who I am. And sometimes like for some people, if not supported in the right way, when they are learning about their past and their childhood, it's like triggering them. It's triggering. I don't mean to laugh because it's just like, it's just crazy how we allow ourselves to do it. But it's just triggering them to stay the child, you know, opposed to elevate and be like, wow, this is a sign of things that I have to work on and how I need to grow. What is this teaching me, right? Fears of spiritual abandonment, loss of identity, and loss of connection with life and people around us. The strength of this chakra is the presence, the faith in the presence of the divine, and in all that faith represents within one's life, such as inner guidance, insight into healing, a quality of trust that eclipses ordinary human fears, and devotion. Typically, I have found if you also tend to overthink and overactivate the chakra. I was one of those people. I used to have headaches all the time. I used to have headaches so much. It just was something I was used to. Um, and this is your worry, you know, and this is why, you know, if you want to envision why your connection gets blocked and you have no sight, is because, you know, if this is, I had a vision today. God has shared a vision with me, and the vision was me. But see, I had this vision when I first meditated earlier this morning of like God showing me like, you know, you are on a new journey. Like anything you've ever experienced before is not even relevant to where you're going. Like this is just gonna be so new. And I was walking through like a corridor, and it was like walking into a door, and the door, it wasn't really a door, it was just a portal. And it was just like so bright. So then today, when I was cleaning, I saw like me doing this work is like when I'm tapped in, because after this, I have to rest. Like spiritually, I have to just tap out for a little bit. Like, all right, let me take my seat. But I just thought about it, and I thought how it's like me holding open like that portal for people to go through. Like, yo, this is how we can all stay here. This is how I got here. These are the things that have been revealed to me along the way. Like, you know, I'm basically, obviously, I'm sales pitching people to help them understand that this is such immense work that you are going to gain everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Because it's about you. And once you pick yourself apart like a little puzzle, then you can put yourself back together again. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know what's going on, you know, that's the dark night of the soul. So anyways, the crown, if you're thinking about, I think the connection starts, we've done it from the root up, because I'm going from the most dense negative energies to up high, because we're starting out down at the bottom, right? But the connection starts from the crown down, right? If you're allowing God to pour into your crown, if you're allowing yourself to have insight, if you're allowing yourself to have symbolic sight, then you're not blocking that light that's trying to come through you, right? Come through you. Um, so this one is connected to your central nervous system and your muscular system and your skin. So this chakra is allowing spirituality to become an integral part of your life, which is the simplest quote and affirmation, which is, I'm a spirit having a human experience. Can you say that again? I am a spirit having a human experience. Mm-hmm. So absolutely for me, you know, as mentioned before, this is a chakra. This is just like immense grace. I mean, it's your crown. That's love. That when you're connected to the divine, anything you think of that comes to God is the word that goes there. Light. So giving yourself grace and reminding yourself I'm a spirit having a human experience. So when I forget my power and I'm too human with the, like, everything to me is an accessory. You know, the life we choose, the way we choose to live, it's literally the accessories we wear. We are just, we kind of create this persona to, in our best way, perfect, not perfect, show people the essence of our soul. But it still is kind of like, it's like the original and the copy. You know what I'm saying? It's like we'll never be able to experience the true, um, fullest potential of our spirits because we are encapsulated. It's like the genie in the lamp, right? That's what that's about, right? We're stuck in a thing that seems like a prison because it is. It's a human experience that gives you, things that happen to you, um, memories that affect how you think about yourself, social conditioning that makes you forget that you're even a spirit. Um, so we're just like being so, it's like we are lulled to sleep from the beginning. So when you begin to awaken and recognize your potential, um, this is just part of it, right? We're healing and we're saying, okay, like you said in the very beginning, I want to stay in this space. It doesn't take much to. It's just consciousness, consciousness, awareness. Like we could just use all these words and they're the same thing. Your awareness of who you are, why you are the way you are, your triggers, and getting your space to loving like God loves, to seeing like God sees, so that while you're here, you're not taking so much shit personally and you're just living your best life. You know what I'm saying? Choosing to be happy. A lot of days, yes, we have to choose to be happy. You have to start clapping and acting Muhammad Ali-ish on people around you, even on yourself. Surprise yourself. Like, no, we're going there. Like when I was, you actually saw me do my meditation today. I just felt so good. I was like, my arms, this is so good. And I'm not gonna restrain myself. I'm like, oh, this looks silly. Or like, oh, whoever would even think anything. It's about me. Like you said the other day, because I yesterday, it's about me. And that's the living of unapologetic, because you're just into yourself. And it's like people are going to judge, but it's only because they're insecure, right? You're like, yo, this is why I stopped taking things so personal. Obviously, closer connections are get taken personal because of your experiences with them, but the outside world, like when I see where you're operating from, um, energetically, that's like just low vibrational. I don't resonate with that, so I'm not going to take it personal because that's the level you're at, and that's how you're interpreting things through your levels, your pain, through your lens of pain and insecurity. So why am I going to take it personal? You know, and that, I think unapologetic living is literally that essence of staying in your light as much as possible. Because like whether you cuss and say Jesus in the same sentence, you're fine with that. I really be telling people, this is why sometimes I'm like, I think I could have been super rational on social media in another life or who I am now. But it's like there's sometimes I'm just like, if if people think what I do is I'm going to hell, I always tell all my people who I know be watching the videos anyways and don't comment, but they're watching. I promise you, my only request is going to be, can I just have the most bomb ass bathing suit? Like if I'm going to hell, just give me the most bomb ass bathing suit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe that. I don't believe that I'm gonna go to hell for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of worse things in this world. That no. But anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. But needless to say, unapologetic living and being connected to the light. So symbolically, it represents the process of receiving your spirit from various corners of one's life that still hold unfinished business. Or releasing regrets that continue to pull at one's consciousness, such as words that should have been spoken but were not, or words that should not have been spoken. Unfinished business would also include relationships we wish we had and did differently, or paths we wish we had taken but did not. At the closure of our lives, we consciously draw these memories to a final point, accepting the choices we made at the time and releasing all the feelings that things could have or should have been otherwise. This is what it means to call one spirit back in order to leave this world and return to the spiritual dimension complete. And this is literally this work to the T, right? Because you realize that your spirit and your energy is still very invested in that experience. It's there. You could go there and just evoke the exact body response. Exact, and then it's like we're wondering why we don't have the clarity. It's because you have to just pull your spirit back. It's like I can let that go. It's ridiculous that I don't let it go as an adult. Either I'm going to choose to be queen or I'm going to choose to be a kid. I'm going to choose to stay in my little girl mind and not believe in myself. And granted, we're all going to have days. That's why we need to, just like you water a plant, you figure out what you need, which is typically great habits, great friends, great environments. You know what I'm saying? You're a plant. You know what you need to grow. Like those key things. But yes, 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 yes. So you represent that you are invested into your spiritual self by acts of faith. So I almost feel like sometimes the faith is the letting go, right? Because you have fear behind something. So you think, well, if I let this go, am I going to get something better? Or is something better going to replace it, right? You're almost thinking, whatever you're thinking, but just the fears. And I think a lot of us, and I always say this because getting into conscious, unconscious at an unconscious level, at a conscious level, we know about like spirit self, and we kind of get it. But I feel like where many people fall short is just actions, right? It's so good to talk about something, but to me, I feel like when we choose to step into these spaces, the reason it's like Eric Thomas says, if it was easy, everyone would do it. People know it's not easy. Yep. Jim Quick says, one of my favorite quotes, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. This is taking your power back and knowing I choose. Even when I'm on the phone, like I just yesterday was on the phone with I've had friends for just like years friends, but now I'm thinking like this year I'm my limitedness of being available to even hear conversations with people who are not saying I choose, right? Because you have to elevate to in between your conversations. Well, I choose. So if you're complaining to a friend, I'm your friend, you're complaining to me about something. At some point, it's gonna be like, well, like what is your choice in this, or what are you choosing to do? You know what I'm saying? Because you have to own your power and take back your responsibility. So this is also the energy point of human life force from God. The force nourishes the body, the mind, and the spirit. There's people who literally, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but they'll literally like sunbathe as a form of nourishment and not need to eat. And I'm really, honestly, I'm really like that. Like I don't eat that much anyways, but like when it's summertime, I can sit outside all day with just like a bottle of water and a cup of wine or something, or yeah, a cup of wine sounds nice, probably a cup of wine. And just like lay out there. It's just, I love the sun. So knowing what you need and that you literally it's like your duty to keep rejuvenating yourself and pouring into yourself so you do walk in your light. And honestly, too, that just made me think, I think that's why they say, like, when you walk in authenticity, the path is long. Stuff like you have other people there with you who are dope as hell, but it takes work and belief and just acts of faith and prayer. Like acts of faith, like this is my last whatever, or this is my, it doesn't matter. Like any decision that scares you, letting go of something, beginning something, like whatever, any decision that really frightens you, and you lean into it with like the utmost will of like, no matter what, I'm gonna win. And you stay in that alignment. And that to me is taking ownership, because you have to speak life over it. The crown chakra, right? Obviously, we're queens, and this is full queen mode. So this is a different connection than religion. This is living in the utmost present moment. It's just so beautiful. I swear I just keep having visions all day. So if you see me like zoning out, like I've been getting so many visions. And I'm just like, wow, it's just insane. Just insane. Just insane how this all works. Because it really is so miraculous. And I feel like that's the vibe that helps you get into gratitude, because you realize like your heart is beating, blood is pumping through your body, your lungs are working, you have all these other cells and whatever that are doing their thing, your stomach, your intestines are doing their thing, your central nervous system, your muscular system, your bones, like there's all these many things that have to come together as a whole to make you run as if you were a car, right? And just like with a car, with a flat tire, you're not going far, right? With an engine that doesn't work, you're not going anywhere. You don't have a whole working component. And the fact that, we start out as like a beauty mark, and then we elevate into this,
Right.
and really understanding now when you see pictures when it's like the eyeball, and then have you ever seen the pictures where it's the eyeball and then it also shows how it looks exactly like the universe? Like there's so many things that look like other things that represent the whole, right? So it's like when you look at the universe, you're seeing yourself, and it is, right? When we die, we go into dust. We disintegrate into the ground. If we didn't have caskets, we would disintegrate into the ground, right? So this is the higher level of thinking, and I just want to share with you know, your goal of life to me is like you said in the beginning. It's like I want to stay here. No, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to stay here. That's why I was laughing all year, and I'm like, yo, I'm not playing. Who I gotta cut off next?
Right.
Stop playing with me. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm so serious. Like who?
Right.
Who? I'm so ready. Like who? God, who? Okay. It's so okay, because every time I do, it's just so many blessings. I'm like, I'm gonna be down to just my kids
Mm-hmm.
with love, of course. But but equally too. But that's the power, is that, when we're living in deficit, like you said, oh, I'm attracting all these like opportunities and like people and connections. And it's like, of course you are, because now you're in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're vibrating, opposed to, being in those spaces where you can't even see what's right in front of you. Home grad, a whole amethyst crystal waiting for you, water bottle or book that we leave sitting around our houses. I'm not ready yet. We're not ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay, right? Like that's my thing. It's like it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Knowing now is better than knowing. Like when I was reading that, I was starting to get choked up. So I'm like, I really learned that lesson when I was 18 and my grandfather died.
Mm.
Like I wasn't super close to him, like close, but he did a lot of things for us. He was very wealthy, so that means we never wanted for nothing. Even though in my household we lived on like public assistance and DSS, it was it's the weirdest combination of like living a life. And when he died, he wanted to apologize because he wasn't like a nice person like that. Like he wasn't really nice, but I also learned his parents weren't nice to him, right? That's why it's important to know people's story, because that also helps you forgive them, to talk to them if you can. If you can't talk to them, it is possible to go in meditation and in spirit and talk to them and communicate with them, and they'll communicate with you, and you can easily, put those things to rest as well. But what was my point?
I'm talking about your grandfather.
Yeah, just dying and with regret, and that's what really, like, I was like started reading slower when I got to that part. I'm like, that, and you like I almost felt that feeling as I was reading it, like just about to die, and you bring that's what you do. You bring all your thoughts to all these experiences and just things. And I personally just want to be like, yo, that was dope. That was dope. I'm proud of myself. Like, I'm proud of the life I live. I'm at peace. And I think that's why it's important for us to find peace, which is the weirdest thing about life. Is like, it's not the weirdest thing. It's just everything is literally a cycle. You know, everything is literally a cycle. You come in as a fresh, it's like a fresh chicken. You literally go out in the same way. Um, as far as like, the older you get in your body. Actually, no, let's not affirm that. There's old people who are really getting it together and their body's not decrepit. I mean, but I get, obviously it does age and gravity takes over a bit to some degree. But really just dying and living with regret, like dying with regret to me. Honestly, I think that's how people become ghosts. And I don't want to feel like y'all think I'm so woo, but I feel like that's how you get stuck in this realm and your spirit doesn't continue to the next realm because you didn't die with peace. And depending on that level, even like here, how y'all feel like we energetically shifted our vibration. So it's like, I believe the next step after dying is like, it feels more like a portal. And I feel like if you're not energetically in alignment with that love and light and that elevation, how can your spirit continue onto that level? But that's just like random shit that Eb thinks to myself and never says out loud. I swear God be telling me some stuff and I'm like, my whole life I would share things with people and I'm so used to people being like, that is just so weird. And it's like just stuff that I see up here that I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. But nonetheless, I also feel like really with this, staying in alignment with this chakra is moving your body, stretching, dancing, joy, praise, gratitude, your daily habits of affirmations, even if you're doing your affirmations or whatever, and you're not feeling them and you push through it. And know yourself. That's why I talk about different journaling techniques. So it's like, know yourself. You don't got to write the same thing every day. Some days if it's a dumping day where you just get a message and you feel like I got to write it all out. Some days if it's affirmations, saying your affirmations in the mirror. I am a firm believer of writing affirmations on your mirror. Wholeheartedly. I believe everybody should do that. That should be mandatory. And this is all like free 99 stuff, so it's really just energetic. If you haven't learned anything from this course, it should be my energy is my currency.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And when I feel out of alignment, that is a sign in my spidey senses are tingling, and I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to stay in joy, and I'm going to praise, and I'm going to expect good things to keep happening to me instead of the opposite. Because I already know how that feels. I already know what that got me. And I don't want that. What I want is to have good things happen to me all the time, consistently, to expect great things. And I've already been through the fire, so there's no other shit that I could go through that I can't handle. You know what I'm saying? So, it kind of just gets to that point. And then if you do, then you know that that's a new level God's taking you through too. Like, either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just either way. Because I also do believe we have many moments that I feel like we're caterpillars. And it's so shocking to ourselves. We feel like, oh, we're getting older. And I feel like you just always have moments that are a recreation of you in a new way. And it's cool. And it's cool. And I feel like this is just helping us to like lean into these shifts of being, of expansion, right? This is about expansion. Your energy feels free because you expanded, right? Did I ever show y'all this picture? No, I'm not gonna draw it. So basically it's just like a stick figure and how I envision it in my mind. I showed this to you guys. Didn't I show this to you with the light or I didn't?
I don't remember that.
Okay, so you are this, imagine yourself like in a cave and there's light. So my light is here, so I'll go towards this way. Light is this way. And then there's, going back this way down the cave, you're gonna get darkness. Now the truth of who we are is this light, right? And think energetically how you feel when you don't feel loved or you feel insecure about something or you're experiencing sadness or grief um, or fear or shame or guilt, right? Your energy literally starts like pull in on itself. Think about babies, right? Just like your natural reaction, like closing yourself off, right? Now you all of a sudden, being this big figure, you start walking this way and it gets darker and darker and darker and darker till this light, for a lot of people, some people have a glimmer of it. Energetically, where I'm at is I can see where people don't have a glimmer of it. I've spent a lot of my life around people who didn't have a glimmer of light in them, and I could look at them and see whole other dimensional beings. But when we stay in alignment, we're going towards the light while we're here, which is so beautiful because whether we know it or not, energetically, just like people being like, oh my God, Tamika, you just seem so different. Like, your just energy is different. They feel this shit. They can't even put their finger on it because they're like, they don't know what magic just happened. They're like, how you go from, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? They feel it and they can't, place their hands on it. But it's like, place their fingers on it because it is literally that energetic shift of going towards that light. And a lot that happens when we're in that darkness is we feel disconnected from the light.
Yeah.
Like, but you just gotta keep walking towards it. You gotta follow the breadcrumbs that are like, oh, a light there, and a light there, and a light there, and a light there, and then your life starts to change little by little until I think it gets to a certain point. This is why I feel like your millionaire people and your financial people always talk about like speed, time and speed, because when you pick up momentum based on your willingness to believe in yourself, to have faith, to operate in acts of faith, to keep moving in your light, um, then you create this undeniable momentum of the good things happening all the time because that's where you're supposed to be. You're not living in your filters of your root chakra, your solar, your sacral, all those lower vibrational ones where you're literally blocking your heart. Your heart's fucked up, doesn't know what's going on between its throat. You know what I'm saying? You don't usually, it's all just jumbled. And that's the energetic feel of it. But going back to that visual, it's like it's just that simple of walking towards that light. We all have access to it, and we've all allowed ourselves to go into the depressive states to a degree. Um, but the beauty, like I was saying, is being able to help people and to help them on more of their light just by being. To me, that's like the greatest gift of it all because it's just the seeing people happy, like seeing people happy and smiling, like that just makes me happy. And when you see them realizing um, where they just need to step into themselves and where they were not, and from a powerful place, and from a place that really allows them to let go. So um, another affirmation for this, I actually was thinking about this today too, for this chakra is I see the divine light in everyone. So I was thinking about my neighbor who, it's interesting because she said, bless you, God bless you to me. But she also asked me, do you know Jesus? So, in my mind, people that ask that are like, I find them to be very judgmental. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just like, oh, here we go. And she was like, well, if you know Jesus, then, that's a beautiful thing. God bless you. And I guess my thought that came to mind, and I'm getting to it because it led me to this affirmation, is I'm aware of energy. So, and really just even the etymology of words, our whole language is backwards. So everything we're saying, we're actually meaning the exact opposite. Like even coincidence. Coincidence means coincide, and coinciding angles are meant to be, but we use it in the term of not meant to be. So that's just one example. But blessed also means cursed. So if you ever have people, y'all, you ever been in the hood? You know how a chick be like, she like say somebody got beef or whatever, and it's like people will say like in an aggressive tone, like, nah, bless you. Nah, God bless you though. God bless you though. Like to me, like you're cursing me. Don't bless me.
Yeah.
You're bless me. You know what I'm saying? That's a no. Because it's coming from an aggressive point. So she had said it, and I don't know. I just didn't feel like, you know, I don't know. It didn't feel like a good blessing. So I kind of was like, but it made me think of I see the divine light in everyone, and where I like later in the day, just one of the thoughts that came back, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know what she's going through. I don't know what she ever been through in her life, and regardless of where she might be at and her the way that she said that or whatever, like she has her own battles and her own struggles. Like, and it's not my job to judge her or to put too much of my thought into how she said it or the way that it came across. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. But again, to me, this is just getting to that point of that's how we also stay there. It's those elevated sub thoughts. So as you're thinking about things and thinking about things, now you're getting to this place where it's just like the wisdom is just there, the light is there, you speaking life over yourself is there more than what you've typically done, which is run on the programs of your solar sacral and moon. And then all those experiences that look exactly how it's laid out. All those experiences literally block your heart. And you're like, damn, I just learned that's the portal between the spiritual and physical. It's physical. Yeah, okay, let's go. Then your heart, it's not truly connecting. So typically we have these throat issues of not speaking up or being way too um, vocal and but being an egotistical person and hurtful to other people because of your own pain. And then, I mean, pretty much after that, we're done. I mean, then how many people do you really have even being able to operate in their third eye or their crown? So you both even just showing up and being willing to like break through that barrier of thought and to reconnect and to like when you're like, I want to love, like I want to love and receive love in a way that just feels good all the time, right? And knowing that we literally all talk ourselves into like this can't happen all the time. And if it happens all the time, it's suspicious, right? You're like, it's suspicious. It's not right. Just something. It's just something, you know. But then also energetically know when it is something, and your healing and your healed mindset is going to help you just like not even deuces. So this is the real piece. Like no, for real, that piece. You know what I'm saying? And then that's just that. You know. So this was an analogy I had, and then we're gonna meditate. And the analogy was stretching. So I thought about it one day, and I thought about how, um, when you are stretched to new limits, when you're just stretched, right? You feel the discomfort. But hold on, I just lost my train of thought. I've been doing this all day. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So I think I had gotten this analogy from one of the class after doing one of these sessions the last time when I got off the call and I just felt like tense. Like I just felt like my energy had gotten stuck and I started stretching. Um I just lost my point again. Okay, let me just stop. See me come back. Stretching, stretching, stretching. See, I have all these analogies. I swear, I just did. Is that more? Does that make it helpful to you when I give you like visuals of like the understanding of what we do to ourselves? Okay.
I'm a very visual person,
Say that again.
visual learner. So
Yeah, yeah, me too. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. So, do you have anything that you would like to share? Anything that kind of came up with this, or you just feel like high vibes, high vibes, high vibes?
I got, but even you just talking about stretching. Okay, yes, this morning, I work out with Anna, and last night I was like tossing and turning, and when I work out with her, and so she was like, we text before we work out, and I was like, can we do a lot of stretching today? Because I just feel like I just need to like move energy, and usually when we do stretching, she's like talking, she's like pouring into me or whatever, and it's like exactly what you were talking about, like feeling the stretch of the movements. I was in tears just stretching because it's like, it just kind of was like, I don't know what to call it. I don't know. It was like feeling in the physical what I was feeling in the spiritual, or what I'm feeling in the spiritual in terms of being stretched. And just the stuff that she was pouring into to me. I was like, yo, did you call Eb or something? Like, oh, you know what I mean? Because it was like all in alignment with what we've been talking about and the things you've been pouring into me. And it was so good. But what she said to me, she's like, well, you said earlier in the week that you've been sleeping so hard. Like, why? I was like, I don't know. And she said, well, have you been doing the work in your bedroom? And I was like, yeah, the last few times I have. And she was like, have you saged after doing the work? And I was like, nope. And she was like, well, you should sage your room today. And I did. I opened the windows. I turned on that. I love that Reiki healing waves or whatever that you sent. And I could literally, like, it felt lighter in here. You know what I mean? Like, so just the alignment of everything, and the fact that you just were starting to talk about stretching, and I woke up like, I need to stretch today. I don't jumping around and doing all that stuff. Like, I need to just stretch, and I felt so much better. So it's going back to what you said, now having more clarity around what I need to do in response to any dis-ease I have, whether it's in my spirit, in my physical body. It's like, I just feel really clear, like, yeah, I need to stretch. Yeah, I need to take a bath. I need to, you know, and that just feels good because it's like you said, not time saver, it saves time.
It does.
Rather than sitting in it and having to feel all that discomfort for a long time. It's like, no, I don't have to do that. I don't have to be, oh, I didn't do this. And it's just like, it just comes to me. You know? And not that it's never come to me before, but now it's just like, boom, 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 boom,
You
boom.
spent more time in distraction.
Yeah.
Right? And we all do it. We spend more time in distraction opposed to laser focus.
Yeah.
Cutting out distractions and cutting out conversations that aren't uplifting. And even just knowing as a healer, I think that's the other thing. Like, as you heal, you know, it's also not in being you inspire people, and also learning when people are speaking in a language that you can't help them, and it's not productive or good for you to connect with them because they're like energy vampires to your spirit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like whether like bugs are drawn to the light too.
Right.
Right. So, you know, just being very mindful of that. And it's not even being mindful. It's kind of just like we got to tune up, and now we know the difference between how the car should run. You know, when it's fixed, opposed to when it's not. You know, and that's literally what we've done, because it's like you realize I've always had the signs, and I've suppressed them. I've ignored them, and I didn't stand in my power. And I didn't really know why I wasn't standing in my power. I didn't realize, oh my God, like this situation that happened when I was 10 totally stripped me of my voice. And when I shrink, I go there. You're going to there, and all the other memories that affirm that particular thing. And then when you start remembering the things and the memories, like, oh shit, I just remember, like Catherine's like, I don't remember if I'd almost drowned. That's like, damn, we really will, like, because we do that. Our brain does that to help us protect ourselves, you know. And it's like when you start uncovering that, that's what I learned, that feeling right there is where we avoid. And to me, it reminds me of the first time I gave birth, I needed an epidural, and then the second time I got there too late, so I couldn't get it, and I had to have her naturally. And recognizing that with my first, I was literally at that point that if I had just pressed on a little longer, I would have been good. I wouldn't even need that epidural. You know, it's just that moment of like where you feel like you're gonna die, but you know, you get through it. You know, you give birth to a baby. Me too. But life feels like that sometimes, right? Let's be real. Heartbreak takes you there sometimes. Depression takes you there sometimes. Life events, right? We all can resonate with moments in life that have taken us to that space of like, I don't even see the point of like breathing right now, you know? So to be resuscitated in who we are and walking in the light and the stretching, you kind of brought it back to me a little bit, which was the need to move,
Right.
right? And it's like the more you don't move, literally, the more you are forcing your body to get decrepit or things to stop breaking, and there not to be a flow. So thank you so much for saying that, and that shows how much you've been in alignment with your spirit, because you're literally doing the things that you should do in alignment with that, like activating that power. That power is like, okay, I'm here, and it's kind of like your real self like showing up on the scene, like, okay, like this is what I need. And I don't know if I've ever given you guys this analogy, but I want to give it to you, and I want you to imagine it, and it looks so funny to me when you really think about it. So it's kind of like, this is where we were. So I'm the inner child, okay, and I'm standing on a block, like a big block, like big enough to make me look taller, right? A cube. And you're sitting on the floor. So I'm on the cube, you're sitting on the floor. And I'm telling you, like, you know, so remember when we kind of like were embarrassed and mom did this, like with the journal, remember that situation? Right. So I'm gonna need you. Actually, no, you have the notebook. I'm sorry. Yeah, you have the notebook, and she's dictating to you on her cube, and she's telling you what she needs you to do, how she needs you to behave, reminding you of all the reasons why you weren't safe and it's not safe and all those things, right? And you're literally like taking notes from a child. You know what I'm saying? Like you're literally taking notes from a child. So when your queen self returns, she's like, can I get some water? You know what I'm saying? Like, can we get a bath? Can we stretch? Can we, just like all these requests and showing up of self, because it was always there, but it's just the inner child shit that God is like, literally sitting there taking notes from a 5-year-old, like, okay, mm-hmm, okay, and what else? Would you like ice cream today when you feel sad? Right? Like, what oh, right? Let's get a grip, and this is really what this is about, is that returning to self, which is so essential. So yes, let's get ready to meditate. Turn this bright light off. Has been such a pleasure and an honor. I cannot tell you how grateful I am. I will add you to the group, which I do pour in there. I try not to make it A, overwhelming, and then B, I'm still just getting a lot of back end things together on my side to continuously support along the journey. So, but if you don't want to be popped into the group, just let me know. If you do, then I'll be popping you in there tomorrow. So you can say hi to all the other women who have already gone through it. We're actually going to have a reunion next week. So if you want to come to that, you can definitely come. It'll be next Friday.
Okay.
Yes. So you guys can come to that. And then I'll be doing another one a month from when you all stopped. That's unless we do other continuing work together, then obviously you would see me. But yes, I would love to have you there. It'll be at 9:32. So if you're interested, I'll invite you to that too. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to make it fun. So it's not going to be healing shit. We're going to get your favorite drink. We'll do some music, and I'm really just like high vibrate and just talk about our journeys and things we've learned, and just important to each other. So it'll be fun. I think I'm just gonna let this do this like rainbow thing over here, because I think it fits the mood. Hopefully, doesn't give anyone making dizzy. Thought I had it already. Okay. And as we tap into the space of higher vibrations, eternal love, immense clarity, guidance, blessings, expecting great things to happen all the time. And if they don't, we have the wisdom to appreciate them, step in them, let go of them, and continue to live in our best life. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and you hold, and breathe out through your mouth. And we'll begin by relaxing your eyes and your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Allowing your tongue to drop down from the roof of your mouth. Relax your arms and your hands. Relax your stomach and your back. Relax your legs and your feet. And before we begin, I want you to remember that ease, calm, and flow is my natural state. As you see yourself in the most divine space, you could be in the tropics, you could be on a boat, you could be on a beach, you could be driving your new car, you could be living in your new house. What is the highest vision of yourself that you have? Now that you have healed, let go, and you will continue to let go. You are now choosing to step into the divine, most connected to God, self within. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. And as you see yourself in this space, I want you to feel in the energetic vibration that you have released, and anything that you don't release, and any friction that comes up, you make peace with it. Right here in the now, knowing that you expect great things to happen. It is your divine birthright to receive all that you desire. And as you rise above this self, just feeling content and whole, knowing that even in your imperfections, you are so beautiful and divine. Allowing yourself to rise higher and higher and higher into this space where there is nothing but darkness and the stars of the universe. And as you breathe into this space, you become nothing, and you know nothing. You have no constraints on life. You have no limiting beliefs. You're able to just be, feeling immensely loved, filled with gratitude, overjoyed with the feeling of true eternal peace. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. And as you allow yourself to stay here in this high vibrational space, I want you to take with it every single ounce of peace with you. I want you to remember this space, this flow, this imprint, so that you can move through life with grace and let go of all of your attachments. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. And as you hear these affirmations, I want you to remember that they vibrate at a level of truth. I want you to focus on this truth as you integrate it as a part of your soul. I am a part of the divine. I honor the divine within me. I seek to understand and to learn from my life experiences. I cherish my spirit. I seek experiences that nourish my spirit. I listen to the wisdom of the universe. I trust my intuition. I am open to letting go of any of my attachments. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. I live in the present moment. I am grateful for all the goodness in my life. I love and accept myself. I know that all is well in my world. I am connected with the wisdom of the universe. I am open to divine wisdom. My life moves with grace. I am at peace, undeniably loving and accepting myself right here and right now. Understanding that even though I am not where I want to be, I know I'm not where I used to be, and I'm heading to where I want to be. By acting in faith, by acting and exercising my will, by highlighting my power to choose and the true power that I have, honoring my divine feminine and masculine, knowing that I am ease, calm, and flow, grounding myself in the security that I am a spirit having a human experience, and nothing that I've been through can dictate my value and self-worth when I come from the most divine part of the universe. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth.
And as you hold space for this divine light to come in through your crown chakra, I want you to just say a prayer in your mind of gratitude, of thanks, of desire, of protection, so that you may continue to walk in your most divine light. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. As I strengthen my bond with God's divine energy, I accept my responsibility and make decisions that are balanced and support my spiritual growth. I'm receptive to the spiritual connection of God's divine energy. I feel the energy move through me, energizing every cell of my body. I pray to hear guidance and to be receptive to the divine will. Breathe in through your nose and hold, and breathe out through your mouth. And as you allow yourself to enjoy this space, to appreciate this space, allow it to create a new meaning for who you are, for where you're going to go, and for trusting who God has called you to be. As you release and let go, you know that it's not personal. It's just a part of your spiritual growth. Deep breath in through your nose and release. Deep breath in through your nose and release. Deep breath in through your nose and release. as you come back to the elevated essence within your body, understanding that you are made of higher, greater, and more. Deep breath in, breathing in healing, breathing out healing. And when you are ready, open your eyes. How you feeling? How you doing? Welcome back. How you feeling? We all feeling all the tingly feelies?
I want to tell you what I saw.
I can't hear you. Let me turn my mic. It's my side. No, it's not you. It's me. Okay, go ahead.
Like I was in a field of orchids, and I don't know if orchids have a field. I don't know. But I was in a field. I love orchids. I was in a field of orchids that led to the ocean. Like when I got to the ocean, there were like vines of orchids like falling into the ocean. And then at one point, when the waves were breaking, there were like crystals on the sand. Like it just was so peaceful. But at the end, I don't know if I ever told you, I was starting years ago, I wanted to write a book called In Pursuit of Peace. And I just never, I started it and stop. But at the end of this meditation, like I clearly heard you were in pursuit of what was already inside of you. Like I was looking for peace, and I was able to go to peace right then. So now I feel like the book is supposed to be called The Peace Within, not In Pursuit of Peace. Like that made me cry. Because it just felt like when people ask me, what do you want more than anything else? My answer is always peace. Always, always peace. So to be able to like go there and really feel like, just honestly feel just an overwhelming sense of peace. It's just so good.
How you doing, Kat?
I'm good. That was amazing. It's just peaceful, you know. Tamika, what you just said, that sounds so like heavenly. I love orchids too.
But in my eyes, I wasn't ready. Like this
Yeah.
is good. Like this.
Yeah, I know.
everything.
I actually had to pee, and I just used. I felt like you needed to, typically I don't let that much time of me not talking.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I have to pee, so I felt like you needed to just sit in that space. Yeah, just sit in that space for a while. To me, this is like the feeling of like the times that I have gone to church and just felt the that presence of God, and you're just like overwhelmed with joy and just like, oh my God, wow.
Yeah.
Um, yes, and it's just staying in alignment with that at this point forward, and knowing when you're out of alignment. You should not know without a doubt that you are out of alignment or not,
Mhm.
and really trusting God, like really, really trusting God. And I know the more spiritual we become, that works for us. Whatever works for you, like whatever works for you, as long as it allows you to stay into this space, like you do whatever floats your boat. But do you want to share? Do you all want to share anything else? It's 11:22. Got some angel numbers on the line. Thank you, angels, for guiding us and protecting us. Yes, yes. Is there anything else you ladies would like to talk about before we leave?
I'm just grateful for this week. That's what else I heard. All you had to do was say yes.
Mm,
That way, when you say yes to the universe
you cut out a little bit. Say that again.
said, you were saying that when you say yes to the universe always says yes to you.
Hmm.
But that's what I felt in this last meditation. That like it was all right here.
Yes.
I've been exhausting myself. That whole image I told you about, like treading water with sandbags. Like, like this. It was all like right here. And so that means I can always access it because it's mine. That's what I'm getting. Like peace, clarity, all of that. It's not something I have to look for. That's what I'm really getting. That it's all right here. I just have to tap into it. And that for me, that's life changing. Because as spiritual as I am, I'm also a very analytical thinker. And to be able to just let go of that and just, it's like, it's life changing.
Yes. 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 And I think that's is it. Humble is not always the best word because the real meaning behind it. But for the lack of a better word, the just like humbling of your spirit and being able to really know, like, even when I was younger, doing different things in the music industry and stuff, like I'm never that person that's ever gonna see any celebrity and freak out. Like, I don't care who they are. I just don't feel that. Like, I've never felt that like urge to glorify somebody to that degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm like, oh my God, Beyonce, oh my God, like, can you take a picture with me? Like, nah, like, I'm just so not that person at all. Because I feel like it denies me of my greatness. It denies me, like, do I love her and think her work is dope and she's creative? Yes. Just like I do with my friends, but I'm not. I know my worth, and I know that this key word of like divine, 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 divine. Like, I am that and more. And it's just really the release, like every just releasing more and more and more. It's like the levy to like more blessings, right? Release, 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 release. And then as you up level, I'm not just like pitching it. And I know Tamika, you do coaching as well, so you get it in consulting. But having a coach and working with coaches and working with people who, as you've seen with this, are just
you know, it's me pouring that light back down. It's me passing the torch. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's so important. I'll never not invest in myself in that way. If somebody who's energetically at a higher point that I need to be brought up to speed to. And just the unlimitedness, just like I remember one of my coaches telling me, oh, I went to this conference and this guy charges like $10,000 for like an hour, like $10,000 an hour, you know, and he's like, consider that, you know, it's really just like belief in yourself. Obviously, as with the belief in yourself, you're getting results, you're doing the work as far as like the acts of faith, and owning your genius and your skill set. And that's magnetizing to people, you know? So, it's an honor, and I love this so much, and even just being the second time doing it, because it's so fast. It's so fast, you know. And I'm like, damn, I wish I would have had the, you know, this, you know, the returning to your throne is like, this is the piece that needed to be inserted to create the bridge, because, you know, I feel like this is me being nice and tender. This is what I know. Like, don't say no crazy shit. Don't say no crazy shit. Just be graceful, okay? But returning to your throne is like, nah, I'm Eric Thomas now. Like, we're Muhammad Ali. We got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. Like, at this point, it's game time. Like, okay, we did all the little girl shit. Now we're gonna do hot girl shit. Okay. So, yes, that's what I have for you both. Like I said, I'll add you to the group tomorrow. If obviously if you need me, reach out to me. I'm gonna stop it here because I'm gonna, before my computer